Hello, what is up my YouTube fam? Hello Juicy Fruits, this is Jess Lifts a Lot, and today I'm gonna talk to you about eating over the holidays and how not to sabotage or lose any progress that you've made thus far. Basically just like how not to get chunkier over the holiday. There might be quite a few trigger words in this video for you, but my apologies ahead of time. We are going to be talking about weight loss and fat and all of those things that can be trigger words, but let's go ahead and get into it. So Labor Day is coming up in a few days, and obviously this is applicable for any holiday. So whether it's Labor Day this year, next year, we've got Halloween coming up, we've got Christmas coming up, Thanksgiving, New Year's Eve, right? We have a ton of holidays coming up. And so this is the perfect time to get really clear about these things so you can stay on track. Let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing I would definitely say when you are eating around family and friends, the holiday season, it's pretty much normal from what I've seen in other people and even for myself. It's pretty much normal when you eat around other people to want to kind of like steer or veer off course of what you normally would eat. And so that's why these tips are going to be really, really helpful if you are the type of person who is just like, you want to do your best to stay on course, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it, right? I think I already said that, but let's do it. So the first thing I would definitely recommend is to revisit your goals. That means how close are you to your goal size, your goal weight, your goal physique?
Physique goals.
That could probably have one cheat day. Once you've determined how close you are to your goal weight or goal physique, that makes it so much easier for you to stay on track. Because if you really are like, let's say 20 pounds away from your goal physique, you are not going to do something that's going to completely sabotage the work that you've already done. But if you're, let's say, like 50 pounds or 60 pounds, 70 pounds away from your goal physique, it might be a little bit maybe easier for you to just say, okay, whatever, like I still have a lot of weight to lose before I get to what I consider my ideal size, okay? But that's up to you to determine. And that's not to say that just because you're 70 pounds away from your goal physique that you necessarily are gonna cheat. I'm not saying that at all. But if you're like 5 or 10 pounds, 20 pounds away from your goal physique, you're probably gonna be a little less willing to completely throw that away by cheating, having a cheat meal, right? And I know that's a trigger word for a lot of people, but you're less likely to have cheat meals for Labor Day, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, if you're 20 pounds away from your goal physique, right? So just get clear about that. Get clear about your goals and what's going on there. Also determine, will any progress be lost? If you decide that you're going to eat out of the ordinary, out of what you normally eat, determine if any progress will be lost. If you're gonna eat more calorie dense foods than you normally would, how much progress is potentially going to be lost? Are you okay with that? So if progress is going to potentially be lost, how long is it going to take you to get back on track? That's really important to realize. A lot of times when we're on our weight loss journey, it can take a minute to get back on track. I know personally it's taken me 2 years, right? I've been on this journey for 2 years. Yes, I could have lost the weight a lot faster had I completely like not had cheat meals or had I been on a high cut for a limited period of time. But I feel like what happens when you do that, and I've done this before, right? The whole weight loss thing, but I feel like what happens when you cut for a drastic cut is you end up sabotaging yourself and you end up going right back to eating the same things and gaining even more weight. So it's just really important for you to recognize, okay, what's gonna feel good for me, okay? Intuitive eating is all about doing what feels good for you. If it takes you a little bit longer to get back on track, are you okay with that? All right, if you're gonna have a cheat meal, how long is it gonna take you to get back on track? Is it gonna take you 2 weeks? Is it gonna take you a month? Is it gonna take you an entire year to get back on track? Only you know that. And so be realistic with yourself and determine, am I okay with having a cheat meal or even an entire cheat month that's gonna get me off track? Or for some people, for a lot of people, the holiday season becomes an entire 6 months, or I don't know what, September what is that, 4 months of cheat meals. You know what I'm saying? And if that is you, you have to be okay with that, and you have to determine ahead of time if you're okay with that. Are you going to get back on track in January, which is what a lot of us do? Are you going to be okay with that? Or are you going to have a slight cheat meal on Labor Day and get right back on track on Tuesday? Just determine that for yourself. There is no right or wrong with this. It's all intuitive. So also what's really important over these holidays is to opt for alternatives. Opting for alternatives means to find the healthier alternative. So instead of eating fried foods, eat something that's maybe baked or broiled or I don't know, what's the other option? Air fried, grilled, right? So opt for the alternative, because fried foods are very, very fattening. They are filled with a ton of oil that is going to be really bad for your weight loss and your progress. So opt for the alternative. Also, drink a lot of water, okay? I would say water first. Before you even dive into any dish that someone has laying on the table, drink water first. It's really good to drink it about 30 minutes before you start eating so you don't mess with your stomach acids, those digestive juices. But try to get water in first before you start eating so that you can ensure that you're eating just enough food to be satiated and not overeating. Drinking water first is also going to ensure that you don't choose an alternative that's not as healthy, such as juice or alcohol or something like that. Those more calorie dense juices, drinks. You don't want to drink your calories when you're on a weight loss journey. Okay? Determine what is an appropriate portion size for you. Over the holidays, since you are going to be eating foods that are probably against what you normally would eat, you might want to shrink your portion size a little bit more, right? So I know personally, and I want to talk about this in another video, is like my binge eating habits. I used to eat like an entire freaking cake and ice cream to myself. Completely unhealthy, just really, really bad binge eating habits. But nowadays, if I want something that is sweet, I'll eat a smaller portion size, okay? And so you want to determine if you're going to eat these sweets or, you know, heavier dense foods, maybe a bag of chips. I mean, I'm still notorious for eating very large portion sizes, but that's okay. It's totally okay to eat large portion sizes. But again, you have to determine if that's okay for you, what progress is going to be lost, how it's going to slow you down, and how long it's going to take you to get back on track. But during the holiday season, it's totally okay to obviously eat those foods that you normally don't eat. Just determine what's going to be a healthier portion size for you. Perhaps you can use a kid's plate, right? That's going to be a smaller plate, or just use a fraction of your plate, like 2/3 of an adult size plate, instead of getting a heaping plate of food. All right, so the next thing is to bring your own meals. I'm here. Hey, baby, you made it. I'm so excited. What's all this? My food. You gonna eat all that? You know we got food here. Uh-huh. Okay, baby. I know it sounds crazy, right? Bring your own meals. But think about it this way. If you have a food allergy, then you probably would bring your own meals, right? I'm talking food allergy where you have an EpiPen because you could go into anaphylaxis. You would more than likely bring your own meals to an event, right? So if you're okay with that, if you're not worried that other people are going to judge you, if you really don't give a fuck what other people think, go ahead and bring your own meals. That will help you to stay on track. Next thing is to move your body. So we all know that over the holidays, we tend to get a little bit lazier, right? I mean, we're chilling with our friends and our family, and we're literally sitting on the couch. And it really depends on the type of family you come from, right? If you come from a very active family, you're more than likely going to be out in the backyard, playing around, doing, I don't know what people do, right? Like, you might be playing volleyball with the family in the backyard. Maybe you're playing like lacrosse or something like that. But if you don't come from a family that's active, then people tend to just sit down and eat and talk. That can really cause you to get into a sedentary state and just feel like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna skip the gym this day, the next day, the next day, and then next thing you know, it's January and you're trying to get back on track again, which is totally okay. But again, this is up to you and your goals. So if you are in a state right now where you are like loving working out, you don't want to lose any progress, what I would recommend is to work out before you get to your event, okay? Before you go to, if it's a family reunion or someone's house, a friend's house, family member's house, make sure you work out before you go to their house. Get that in, get your endorphins rushing so you can make sure that you're already in a good mood, and then even that'll help you out so when you get to the house, you're not going to be eating foods that are going to make you lose any progress because you're already in a high vibe state because you already worked out. While everyone else is lounging, because we know how it is at these gatherings, like people are going to be lounging, but instead of joining in on the lounge fest, go ahead and start cleaning up. Help the host clean up, or if you're the host, go ahead and start cleaning up so that you are getting your body moving, you're already in motion, you're burning some extra calories. It's a very easy way to sneak in some physical activity, especially without making people feel guilty, because I think a lot of times when you're on a weight loss journey and someone else isn't, it can make them feel guilty, which is their own shit, obviously, right? It has nothing to do with you, but it can make people feel guilty because you're taking that extra step to ensure that you are on track. So go ahead and start cleaning up, because that's a way to sneak in those extra calories lost without making anyone feel guilty at all. This is my favorite one, is to play with the kids. If you have kids at the party or event or wherever you're at, go ahead and play with them because they're on the go. They're moving their bodies. They're active. Remember how it was when you were a child? Yeah, play with me. Remember how it was when you were a kid? You were definitely very energetic, right? I mean, unless you had some sort of physical maybe limitation that kept you from moving your body. But if you were a child who was active, just think about how it was when you were a kid, right? Like you were always on the go. So kids are a great way to sneak those calories lost and sneak that physical activity in without making yourself feel guilty, without making anyone feel guilty, and you're gonna have a great time. Also, the great thing about playing with the kids is nowadays kids are playing with technology, right? More than likely they've got their tablets with them, or they're playing a Wii or a PlayStation or something like that. So this is a great way to get them off of that technology and everyone get outside and get some fresh air. All you gotta do is play a good old-fashioned game of tag or Marco Polo or something like that, and you've got a workout in just like that. So lastly, enjoy yourself, okay? Intuitive eating, especially over the holidays, is all about enjoyment. Just be sure to make conscious choices, because that way you won't regret any choice that you make over the holidays. Just make sure that when you're eating food, that it's something that you want to eat. Try not to eat something that people are forcing you to eat, right? And we all know how grandmas can be. Grandmas want you to eat, right? That's just how it is. They want to make sure that you're well fed, and it's in no way to sabotage you or to harm you, but you are in control of your own body, so you have to ensure that you are accepting food that you really want to eat, okay? So just make sure you're making conscious choices and not eating what people put in front of your face, because that's going to make you feel so much happier and healthier and better about the decisions that you're making on your weight loss journey. Intuitive eating means eating foods that feel good to you. As long as it feels good, eat it, okay? Again, that goes back to if someone's putting food in front of your face, if you're looking at the food and you're kind of questioning like, oh, should I do this? Is this gonna sabotage my efforts, like my progress? Then you have to determine if that's right for you, because intuitive eating is all about eating what feels good, when it feels good, okay? And I'm not talking about like emotional eating. I'm talking legit. I'm hungry. I'm gonna fuel my body, because that's really what eating is all about. It's all about fueling our bodies. A lot of times we eat for enjoyment, but the real purpose of fuel, if you go back to like the caveman days, right? It's all about fuel. Eating is all about fuel. It's not necessarily about enjoyment. Eating for enjoyment, I would say, is a privilege or a luxury that we have now. And there's still a lot of people who don't have that luxury to eat for enjoyment. It really is about fuel. So just make sure that when you're eating intuitively over these holidays, that you are eating in a way that makes you feel good and eating foods that make you feel good. Does that make sense? Okay, yeah. Kind of. Okay. At the end of the day, just realize this is your body. Only you can determine what is right for your body and what to eat. Just remember over these holidays that your health is your wealth, okay? Your money in your bank account, your money in your bank account, your money in your wallet, that's not your wealth. Your health is your wealth, because as long as you have your health, then you can get out there and grind and make money, right? So your health is really your wealth. You have the freedom to choose what you're gonna eat, okay? And the way you're gonna fuel your body based on your goals and how you want to look and feel. As long as you keep that in mind over these holidays, then that is really gonna help you to stay on track and not sabotage any progress that you have made thus far. At the end of the day, just be sure to enjoy your holiday, because I mean, you only live once, right? So enjoy your time with your friends and your family, and enjoy the foods that you're eating, and you'll have an amazing holiday. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this helped you out. If you like this video or any other type of tip videos, be sure to give this video a thumbs up for me. And I mean, if you want to. And if you want more videos like this, be sure to subscribe, right? All right, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.
Bye.